Hi, I'm Mike Morse. Welcome to another episode of Open Mic. This is a special episode with Dr. Joel Kahn and Kevin Dietz. You'll remember a few months ago, Joel Kahn was talking to Kevin, and we realized that Kevin hadn't been to a doctor ever, like literally since he was born. So Dr. Kahn challenged him to go get a calcium score CAT scan, and Kevin agreed. And you're going to hear about that CAT scan. You're going to hear how hard it was to set up. You're going to hear the actual number. Zero, it's between 0 and several thousand. You're going to see how healthy Kevin is. We're going to talk about the coronavirus. We're going to talk about new things in science that Dr. Kahn has been studying, and we'll tell you how to make your lives better and how to live a long, healthy life. So stay tuned.
Joining us this morning is Mike Morse, Detroit's Top Dirty. Mike Morse is in here to tell us about the backpack giveaway.
Adapt and change things up a little bit every year.
Welcome to another episode of Open Mic. Dr. Kahn, I'm so happy to have you back. Thanks for being here.
Technology is amazing. I can't see my
time
thumb,
on your busy day, and Kevin Dietz is here with us.
Hello.
So, as everybody watching should know, Dr. Kahn is a world-renowned cardiologist practicing right here in Metro Detroit. He's my cardiologist. We had him on several weeks ago, which the podcast got lots and lots of views and lots of comments. People are telling me that they learned a lot. They are intermittent fasting because of our conversation. And one of the things that came up during our conversation was that Kevin Dietz, my esteemed co-host, had not been a doctor, not been to a doctor for over 50 years. And a funny story happened, Dr. Kahn, that I'm going to share with you. So I see him every week for the podcast, and I bug him. Have you made your appointment for your CAT scan that Dr. Kahn ordered? No, not yet. I'm busy. Next week, have you made an appointment for your CAT scan yet that Dr. Kahn? He said, it's real easy. It's real quick. No, not yet. So finally, after the fifth or sixth time, I said, all right, Kevin, make it right now. He's like, what? I'm like, I don't have the prescription. I said, should we get him on the phone? He'll send you another one. He looks at his email. He finds a prescription. He calls Beaumont Hospital, and he gets on the phone with a nice woman, and they looked him up, and they couldn't find a record. I think the record they found was when you were born. It was like 50s, and they laughed. The lady laughed.
Like, you still live at such and such? I'm like, not exactly.
No, and the phone number was like a 5-digit number that they used to have.
weigh 9 pounds. Are you weighing 9 pounds still?
The phone number was like ML4926. Anyway, he made the appointment, which was easy. They make him go through this whole rigmarole for the insurance, and he's looking and he's reading numbers, and he's like, well, how much is this test? She's like, $99. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Your copay has got to be more than that. Long story short, he gets the appointment. He went. It's now been a couple weeks, right?
I canceled the first one. The first
one. 1 week ago today. It's been such suspense in his life.
It has been a suspense. Yeah. So before we open the envelope,
I was just glad that they let me leave the hospital. I thought for sure they'd just pull me out of there and just say, you're going down the hall right now.
So Kevin, how old are you?
55.
And you really literally haven't been to a doctor in decades.
Yeah, I've had my blood pressure checked probably, but that's about
But you don't get your blood work checked routinely, if ever. You've never had a check of your heart. You do have a good history, meaning your parents, your grandparents lived well into their 90s or more. Mm-hmm. And so you never thought the need. And Dr. Kahn is a proponent of testing, not guessing. Did I say that right?
You did it. Test, not guess.
I read your emails. I read your blogs. And if you're not a subscriber, check out Dr. Kahn's stuff on Instagram and Facebook. Right. What else do you want to say about the test? What else do you want to say about the test?
Kevin, you want to say how was the experience of,
Yeah, so I literally walked into the hospital and checked in. It took about 5 minutes to check in. I went upstairs, and I ended up having to wait about 40 minutes to get into the room with the machine. Once I was in the room with the machine, I was probably there 15 minutes. I mean, in and out, just boom, boom. No super easy.
Like
super
the voice of the Lord that tells you in that ring, hold your breath, and then it's over.
Right,
How long,
right.
how long were you at the table? About 15 minutes?
Yeah, about 15 minutes. You went in, you held your breath, you came out. You went in, you held your breath, you came out. You went in a third time.
Was it like an MRI machine that was like right up to your face?
No, it was roomy. It wasn't claustrophobic. There's opening on both ends. The worst part was getting that sticker off my hairy chest.
Yes, I agree.
So
I had mine done a day before yours, and it had been a decade since I had mine done. So I agree with you completely.
all right. So the process to make the appointment was easy. It was $99. And Joel, it's called a CAT scan or an ultra fast CAT scan.
It's got calcium CT scan, and then that quick little on and off of the CT scan. The reason I like Beaumont's reports, you get a report, are your lymph nodes enlarged, which I rarely have to call a patient and give them some really bad news, like you got lymphoma you didn't know about. Not Kevin, good news. You get a full report on your lungs with the world's best chest X-ray. You don't want all the time, but once every 10 years, great to know about nodules and growths and mass and all. But the real focus is just in the middle is the heart. And heart arteries that are getting clogged up get calcified. Everybody uses the term hardening of the arteries. It's calcium. Calcium's great in your teeth and your bones. You want as little or none in your heart arteries as possible. I'll say as an introduction, when I had my result back from 8 days ago, I got perfect zero, which at age 60.9 months is 60 years and 9 months is a pretty good place to be. But I see patients every day that CAT scan comes back with a number, 500, 800, 1,000, 1,600. And these are just, rock hard arteries in people that had no clue. A few of them have been to a doctor a little bit more than Kevin. But it's the reality. It's the truth serum. How's this all working for you?
Got it. Okay. So the goal is for a zero. There's the results.
I should have listened to him and eaten all that plant-based food before I went in.
Yeah, you should have. All right. Should we do it?
Should we do it, Kevin?
Let's find out.
I've already taken it out of the envelope. So you're not a 1,600, but you haven't joined Joel Kahn in the Zero Club. Your number was 39.5. Meaning, and actually, if you look at the study, it's a little bit hard to put it right in front of the camera. There are 3 arteries to the heart. Basically, one artery had 0 calcium in it. It goes to the back of the heart. One artery, and this is just a number, doesn't mean you're 22% blocked, but that artery had 22 little pixels of calcium, and one artery had 16.5, but you add them together, it's 39. So this isn't the kind of scary result that actually can make a big difference in somebody's life. Very rarely, if this came back 395, which it easily could have, it would have been, Kevin, you need a stress test. Let's make sure there's no problems, even though you feel good. Rarely that could lead somebody to end up being recommended to have a catheterization.
Right, you can put it down.
You're not going down that path.
My social security number. You have my social security number?
It's not going down the path of
Kevin,
catheterization. You're not going down catheterization, stent, and bypass. I think you guys can see where the yellow arrow, this is not Kevin's, but you can see that the front, again, everything's inverted. You can see bones. Those are the ribs. The white around the heart in the middle are ribs and bones and backbones. But right where the yellow arrow is pointing is that famous Widowmaker artery. And in this example, it's full of white calcium bone, heavy calcification. Yours would have been abnormal, and I looked at yours, but it's much milder than this. So, how do you get a 39? Cholesterol, blood pressure, burgers, fries, malts, driving by Fitness 19 and Planet Fitness and Lifetime.
And not going in.
Sleeping 4 hours and not 6 or 7. The whole lifestyle. It's still worth a little deeper dive. But even if you just go by a rather conservative American Heart Association, you don't need an aspirin a day. You don't need a stress test. You actually usually don't qualify to go on Lipitor, Zocor, statins at a level of 39. You need to do a little work, do a little gym work, do a little better diet work. But in a big picture, it's not shocking and horrible news. Being under 100 is not a bad place. Being, even closer to 0 is where you want to be. But it'll get worse with time unless you work on it. That's the happy news.
So,
So we
Kevin,
can get-
Kevin, how do you feel about that?
Yeah.
I'm glad to know. It's good to know the number, right?
Yeah, it is. You know, it's not. I will tell you, I've taken care of some real big shots in town. They get a 0, and they, you know, the smart ones say, "I can't believe it. I messed up for 54 years, 55 years, and I'm gonna, you know, realizing I haven't ruined my body, I'm gonna make changes." The ones that scare me are the ones that say, "Oh my God, I've done everything wrong for 55 years. I can keep doing it wrong because obviously I'm bulletproof. I never see them again." Oh my God, that really bothers me, and I do track them down. I mean, you have a second chance. You aren't that likely candidate that's going to, you know, drop dead at a sporting event, as so often happens, or a holiday or a family gathering. But a little blood work, a little gym time, a couple broccoli and salads during the week, all would be a smart move.
Would you recommend blood work for him at this point?
After I do my famous digital rectal exam with hot sauce, I would definitely get some lab work.
Okay, so blood work, working out 3-4 times a week, and
Yeah.
eating a little bit healthier, eating at Green Space and Go.
Thank you. You know, a
And
few salads, a few apples. You know, Bloody Mary doesn't exactly count as a salad.
Kevin, any questions?
No, I think that's good. I had no idea what it would be, obviously, and it's good to know.
When you have blood work, and it can be simple blood work, I'll send you a script. There is an online university calculator. If I put that number, your age, and a couple lab results in, it tells you over the next 10 years what's the likelihood of having a heart attack or stroke. It really hones that number down quite accurately. I'm sure when we run that, it's going to come back 1 or 2% over the next 10 years, which is considered a pretty low number. You know, which is good news. But, you know, I would suggest we finish up with knowing your blood pressure in a couple labs and give you that insight. But you want to keep that number as low as possible. And most of it is stuff you do, not stuff I do.
Right.
Well, Kevin, I'm proud of you that you allowed this to happen. Dr. Khan,
Yeah.
thank you for doing it. Before we let you
For
go, I know you have patients waiting in your waiting room. There's a lot of talk right now about the coronavirus, and
Oh,
we had
baby.
some questions for you. I know you're a world traveler and you're traveling a ton. Kevin's child is about to travel, and my daughter's in Australia. You know, what can people do to protect themselves? Do we have to wear masks, and what's legitimate?
Well, you know, I just traveled. I had a flight of terror from San Juan to Fort Lauderdale Sunday night with the entire plane coughing.
Right.
And, you know, you wouldn't have been happy a year ago. You're like literally freaking out nowadays, unsure how you're going to, you know, survive this over the next 2 weeks. I think it's absolutely sane. Take hygienic measures. I actually created a recording today on this topic. You know, get good sleep, eat well, have some fitness, don't overdo alcohol, don't overdo sweets and fried foods. Take generally good care of yourself. Wash your hands at all times. I'm very careful about doorknobs, particularly in public bathrooms on the airplane. I'd rather take my little clean Kleenex and open everything neurotically like I'm Woody Allen and little OCD there. But beyond that, it might be reasonable. Ginger, turmeric, onions, garlic. There are foods that may boost our immune system. Everybody loves mushrooms, not always. Mushrooms may do it. These are actually scientifically based. There are even some products, and I'm telling you, I'm taking them. You can get real high quality kind of mushroom immune boosters. There's a brand I don't have any interest in called Host Defense. They make turkey tail mushroom capsules. Believe me, I'm traveling to LA next weekend. I'm going to be taking them before I get on a plane. There's elderberry mixes. I don't have any interest in this local company, but it's an elderberry mix with some antiviral impact. I just was reading, just because this is on my mind, that Brazil nuts have a mineral called selenium. And there's some interesting data. Selenium may help us kill viruses in our bodies. So again, good hygiene, good lifestyle, good sleep, not excessive alcohol and all, but mushrooms, garlic, onions, maybe Brazil nuts, maybe elderberry, and then just hope to God it doesn't explode like some Debbie Downers are saying we're going to really see happen.
All right. Amelia asked me, I told her you were coming on the show today, and she says, when you talk to Joel, get some more Prolon. And I said, I'm intermittent. I said, I'm intermittent fasting now. And she says, well, does that take the place of Prolon? I'm asking you.
The Prolon is a 5-day, 800 calorie a day program out of University of Southern California that we carry in the office. It's pretty awesome. There are a few things Prolon does. They both can help you manage your weight, inflammation. Prolon releases stem cells from your bone marrow. And if your hips or your knees, something's not right, Prolon has a unique ability to add to an otherwise healthy lifestyle. So yeah, 2-3 times a year, Prolon remains scientifically probably the cutting edge.
Okay. And anything new, any new diets, anything new you're tracking right now that you want to tell us about?
Oh, the ability to make plaque go away, even what Kevin had. If Kevin gets some labs and sees me for 10 minutes, I can talk to him about some science. It doesn't always have to be extreme and radical changes to diet. I welcome that, but I'm also a realist. Not everybody's going to do that. So better living through 1 or 2 scientifically proven ways to remove plaque. It has come on the scene. You're already on this stuff, Michael. I'm calling you by your pseudonym, Dan.
Thank you.
Technology difference we're having. But, there was a gigantic study in November, made headlines in every newspaper in the world. Everybody remembers this for one day, that if you're facing bypass or stents, but you're given the option of medication, lifestyle, and exercise changes, you're just as likely to be alive and doing well at 3 to 4 years by avoiding stents and bypass. In my preventive cardiology practice, it's the largest, most expensive cardiology study ever done of any kind. That's fundamentally great background that I can keep pushing and advising people. If you're not in the ER, if you're not in the coronary care unit, let's get real and let's try and avoid having procedures you might be able to eat your way out of with lifestyle change. Again, fortunately, that's not Kevin. Kevin, you did a great job on your morning radio show. I enjoyed listening.
Thanks.
Kevin's busy.
Busy.
Yeah, he's all over the place. I like that.
All right, Dr. Khan, thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
go
Thanks,
back and
Doc. Appreciate
go save some more lives.
Kevin, I'll send you a lab slip and maybe we'll
All
get
right.
back on and, just a few simple ones. Okay.
All right,
Thank
great.
you.
Thanks, Doc.
See you next time.
See ya.
Thanks for watching another episode of Open Mic with Dr. Joel Kahn, world-renowned cardiologist, and Kevin Dietz. You learned on this episode that Kevin's not going to die anytime soon from a heart attack, which is great, great news. So thank you, Dr. Kahn. If you liked this episode, please subscribe to our channel, share it with your friends, especially share it with somebody who may be like Kevin, who doesn't go to a lot of doctors and who needs to at least get this 15-minute test for $99. This CAT scan, this calcium score number is so, so important. So if you know somebody, forward it on, and thanks for watching and listening.